Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be different than my normal videos. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to work on the van build or go on any trips this weekend. I was actually working on something else and did not have time. I almost didn't post a video this week, but then I realized it's been a while since I've gone through your comments and did a video on that. Things have kind of slowed down for me right now, so I thought I'd come out here and read through some of your comments and answer some questions. Now, the reason why I wasn't able to work on the van this weekend is because if you remember a couple of videos back when I got back from Virginia, I mentioned that Oklahoma had a really bad windstorm. We had winds of 75 to 100 miles an hour, and my parents lost that tree in the backyard. But something that I didn't mention in that video was their privacy fence on the west side of their house. It didn't completely knock the fence down, but the winds were so strong that it busted a few of the 4x4 posts. So we had to take a lot of the fence down and fix those, and then replace some of the fence and get it put back up. And that pretty much took all weekend. So I had to skip the build this weekend, but that's no big deal. Things happen and you just got to take care of it. Now next week, that video I'm excited for because I'm adding something to my van. I don't quite want to give it away yet, but I'm adding something to the van that's going to potentially change the look of the inside of it, and I'm very excited to get started on that. So I went through a few videos back and gathered up a bunch of comments and questions that you all posted, and I thought that that would be a good idea to do a video on that instead of skipping this week. So I hope you all aren't too bummed out that there's not a van build or a travel video this week. There definitely will be one next week. So I think I'm just gonna sit back and relax and read through some of your comments. Now, these comments aren't in any specific order. I just went through and grabbed a bunch of them. The first one says, I can relate so much with being ready to get on the road. We spent 8 months on our build. The refrigerator is a game changer for sure. Hopefully it works well for you. So far, the refrigerator has done awesome. Now, I haven't had it hooked up to the inverter this whole time. I have had it hooked into an extension cord, and no, I don't have shore power yet. That's coming. But it's done really good. It's staying cold, and I'm really happy with it. Now, since I mentioned shore power, right now I have an extension cord that just runs through the back doors of my van. Eventually, I do plan on adding shore power to my battery and an outlet on the outside of my van, so it's easier for me to hook up whenever I'm at like a campsite or something like that. And another thing about that comment is I mentioned in my last video that I was ready to get back out on the road, and I'm so ready. I cannot wait to get back out on the road. The next one says, your van is looking great and seems well equipped already. Just curious what else you may need or plan to do. So the biggest thing that I need to work on is finishing up my electrical system. The majority of it's done. However, I do need to add the shore power like I mentioned, and I need to add the solar panels to the roof. I've been conflicted on how I want to attach the solar panels that I have. However, I have figured it out now, so that video will be coming up soon. And that's really the biggest thing. I'm trying to think. Once I get that done, then I'll be able to finish my walls and my ceiling. I've just got to get the solar panels up first so that I can finish running the wiring, and that's pretty much the big things. Then I've got some cosmetic things to do. I've got some drawers to build. I've got to figure out my composting toilet. I plan on doing a do-it-yourself composting toilet. I've been doing some research on that, so I've got to work on that. This one's not extremely important right now because it's so hot outside, but I need to figure out a heater situation for my van. I've kind of gone back and forth on that. So after those big things, I've just got small things to work on, and then I'll be ready to get back out on the road. So this next comment was referring to the refrigerator that I put in. Looking great, pal. I will be very interested in how the power consumption goes. And then he asks, got the shore power hooked up yet that we talked about? So I've addressed the shore power. That's coming soon. I've just got to get it ordered. That's really the only thing I'm waiting on. And then the power consumption of the refrigerator, I did hook the refrigerator up that first day to my inverter so I could see how much power it was drawing. And the most that it's drawn so far, and this was whenever I first plugged it in and it started cooling, was 6 amps, which I'm very happy with. I don't think that's too much at all. The next one says, beautiful place. That lake was gorgeous. I'm not familiar with where you ate, but you were so sweet and kind when you ordered. Well, I got a temperature warning on my camera, so it got a little too hot in the van, so I had to pull the camera outside. So this video was when I went camping overnight in my tent, and I didn't read the packaging right on the food that I took, so I stopped at Brahms on my way home the next day. Good, how are you doing? Thank you. You too. And whenever I was a teenager, I worked at Brahms, so I know how it is working in fast food and working with the public. So anytime I go to a fast food restaurant, I'm as nice as I can possibly be. That job is not easy, and working with the public is... I'm surprised I did it for as long as I did. The next comment says, do you have any plans for your next adventure? And first of all, before I answer that question, you can probably hear the locusts or the cicadas, whatever you call them, in the background. Sorry about that. There's not much I can do about it. That's what it sounds like here in the summertime. Oh, I hope it's not... That's probably a little loud. Hold on. I hope it's not too loud in the audio. But to answer this question, I do have a plan for my next big adventure. However, that's not going to be until January. I am not going to be waiting that long to start traveling. I'm definitely going to be going on trips between now and then, but the big trip that I have planned is in January. This next one says, say hi to the foothills of the Ozarks if you drive through. I love Arkansas. You were on the right track. MREs only require water and sunlight. This is also referring to those packages that I took with me to eat. I didn't realize you had to have boiling water in them. Really? I thought they were like the MREs and you only had to put water in it and set them out in the sun for them to cook. That's not the case for those, apparently. The next one says, holy cow, you are way out in the sticks. I live in North Florida near, I hope I pronounced this right, Ocala National Forest. There's nothing but birds, bugs, and bears out here in these woods. The coolest thing I saw on this trip was the deer. I saw some deer whenever I was in the panhandle of Oklahoma camping, and it's awesome. I love it when I can see deer up close like that. The next comment asks, did you go in any of the Smithsonian museums? This one was referring to the trip whenever we went to Washington, D.C., and no, I did not get to go into any of the museums, unfortunately. We only spent the day there, and we were only able to go to the White House, the Washington Monument, and the Lincoln Memorial. Those were the only 3 things we had time to see. I do plan on going back to DC in the future, and when I do, I plan on staying at least a week so I can check out more things around there. This next comment has a couple of things in it. Hi Cory, wow, what a beautiful hike. Just an FYI, you might want to get a tarp for under your tent for when you start using it. It will help keep any sharp objects that you miss from poking holes in the bottom. So this one wasn't in my camping video. This was when I was in New York and I had just set up my tent just to see what it looked like, and I showed it in my video. But yes, you're right. I do need to get a tarp for under it to protect the bottom of the tent. I just haven't gotten one yet. The next part of the comment says, have you thought about getting an awning to put over your doors and table so that in case it rains, you can still do your cooking? Or even sit and enjoy the rain so you're not having to sit in the van all the time when it rains. So I do have an awning for the side of my van that'll go over these 2 doors right here. I've just got to get a roof rack that I can attach it to, and then I'll be installing that. In the back, I do need to figure something out. Somebody commented and mentioned that I should get like a 10-foot by 10-foot tent that I can set over that area, which is a really good idea. Yes, I got caught out in the rain in New York while I was cooking. Luckily, I was able to get everything cooked and done before it really started pouring down. Okay, and just in time, the rain's starting to pick up. Oh man. Oh, and actually, here's that comment. You might look into a 10 by 10 easy up canopy. They're fairly inexpensive and very quick to put up and down. Added benefit is they don't take up much room when folded down. Well, I'm sorry I keep going back and forth. Now there's a lawnmower going, so I'm back in the van. It's a little cooler now, so hopefully it's not too hot for the camera. But yes, I do plan on getting one of those 10 by 10. I guess it's not a tent, it's a canopy. I do plan on getting one of those for the back of my van. I think that'll be perfect. Anything that I can fold down as small as possible because I'm very limited on space. So anything that I can fold down as small as possible is a plus. The next one says, awesome place, very beautiful and serene. A big applause for your great choice of music this time around. Your previous choices were very annoying and loud. So I really appreciate the person that left this comment. I enjoy adding music to my videos. However, I do understand that I need to tone it down a little bit. I was actually watching through some of my old videos recently and the music was loud. So I apologize for that. This type of comment helps me tremendously. I love it when somebody has a specific issue with my videos and they let me know exactly what that is. There's a couple of comments that I'm going to put in the bloopers at the end of this video that are not helpful at all. So be sure to watch the bloopers at the end of this video if you want to see what those are. But anyway, thank you so much for this comment. I'm going to work on toning down the music a little bit. The next comment says, beautiful area. I love the stone walkway and walls. I might want to check it out. It's a nature photographer's dream. It absolutely is. This comment is on the video that I did at the Watkins Glen State Park. By far the most beautiful state park I've ever stayed in. I know I just started traveling and don't have much to compare it to, but man, it was very beautiful out there. The next one says, nothing like walking in the rain in a beautiful place. Thanks for the hike. So when I was out hiking in that state park, it started raining and I didn't even care. It was in the 50s. It started pouring down rain, but it just added to the experience. It was so beautiful out there. Well, it's probably a good thing my camera died because it's pouring down rain now. This next comment was on the video where I took the ferry ride across Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan sure looks huge. How long is the ferry ride? Just curious. This is all new to me. That ferry ride took 4 hours, which kind of surprised me. I didn't quite expect it to be that long, but it was a 4-hour trip. The next one says, I did that same road trip across Canada from Michigan to sightsee around Niagara Falls several years ago. I had a blast, as you appear to. Did you check out the Niagara River Power Generation Station just upstream? That was pretty cool when I was there. So actually you can see it out my window when I first get to Niagara Falls. No, I actually wasn't able to stop and tour it. If I ever go back to Niagara Falls, I'll definitely make time to do that because it does look interesting. But I spent most of my time at the actual falls. So by the time I got back to my van, I needed to get back across the border to the US and continue on my trip. So I didn't have time to stop there, unfortunately. The next one says, goodness, the border. I was nervous for you. I'm not gonna lie, I was sick to my stomach. And I hate to even say that because it really wasn't that bad. It's just I'd never done it before. And waiting in line to go across the border, I was not doing anything illegal. I had nothing in my van that was illegal. It's just a new experience for me and I was very nervous. Had no reason to be, it went smoothly, but the only thing they pressed me on was made sure that I didn't have a firearm in my van.
Any firearms or weapons?
No.
I will repeat it just because I know in the South it's very common to have a firearm. Not a big deal at all. But it's better just to declare it now than to go through the consequences later. Do you have a firearm in the car?
Nope. Nothing. The next comment says, should drill holes on the plywood on the sides and under your bed too. It will prevent moisture/mold when getting a diesel heater. So actually in my last video, I redid underneath my bed. I did have plywood under there and I tried to drill holes, but it was just a pain. So I decided that I was gonna change it up and I used 1x4 slats and now there's plenty of airflow all throughout underneath my mattress. So I don't have to worry about any mold forming up underneath my mattress now. The next one says, hope you're not heading into the smoky pollution of Canadian widespreading forest fires. I ran into a little bit of it when I was driving through Canada and parts of New York. There was a haze, but I didn't get into anything crazy like New York City had, where the visibility was drastically cut down. I didn't get into anything like that. It was just a little bit hazy out in the areas that I was in. Well, I just got another temperature warning on my camera, so I think I'm going to take that as a sign that this is where I need to end it this week. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I apologize that it's not a build or a travel video. However, I'm starting back on the build next week with a pretty exciting project. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and I will see you next Tuesday. However, I do need to add the shore power like I mentioned earlier. Too too far. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sit back, relax, and read through some of your comments. So this was my video when I went camping, and then what is my camera doing? Oh, my temperature. Okay, I'm gonna have to get out of the van because I got a temperature warning on my camera. It's too hot in here. Give me just a second. I'm live, so you should have. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No, you're not.
I'm answering questions.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No, you're not.
Okay. Go get on there on your phone.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm go get your phone and.
Oh my God. Sorry, folks.
No, I'm not live. I'm just kidding. But that is going in my bloopers. So when I was out hiking at the state, when I was out, if you don't like a video that somebody posts, that's totally fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Just keep in mind, most people out there that are posting videos really enjoy doing it and put a lot of work into it. So if you see something wrong with a video, be sure to let them know exactly what's wrong so they can fix it in the future. And that's all I have to say about that.